The movie begins with Jessie and her boyfriend moving in together. Jessie had just handed over her keys, and the last of her belongings were being put into the truck. She asks him if he still thinks it is a good idea to have a baby and move in together. He assures her that she is the best thing that has ever happened to him, and that he has been ready for it for a long time. But just as they drive out of her estate, they get into a ghastly motor accident. Jessie wakes up in the hospital and is briefed on the situation. The doctor tells her she can walk again in months with physical therapy. She asks for her baby, and the doctor apologizes. Jessie's boyfriend, named Mark, and their unborn child have passed away due to the accident. 2 months later, at the care center, she is asked if there is someone who could pick her up. Jessie's options are low and running out. She is therefore forced to make contact with her estranged father, Leon. Jessie has not seen Leon in years. When she gets picked up by her father, they have a long but quiet drive to his home. He then tells her she will be staying in her late mother's room. He asks if she needed anything, but Jessie says she is fine. Later that night, it is hard for her to fall asleep. She struggles for a while in bed, but eventually goes to sleep. The next morning, Jessie gets out of bed and decides to take a look around the house in her wheelchair. She calls out to her father, but he does not respond. While going through some of her mother's things, she strangely stumbles from her wheelchair and stumbles upon a box under the bed. The box is labeled Jezebel. Inside, she finds videotapes titled For Jezebel on her 18th birthday. Excitedly, she pushes the first tape into the video player. The tape starts off with Jessie's late mom introducing herself and saying how happy she was to be pregnant and expecting Jessie. Jessie's heart is warmed by this because she did not get to know her mother at all. Her mother, Kate, passed away due to a brain tumor shortly after Jessie was born. It is important to note that after Kate kicks the bucket, Leon subsequently leaves Jessie to be raised by her aunt. His decision in no small way contributes to the estranged state of their father-daughter relationship. The rolling tape shows Kate proceeding to do a reading of cards for Jezebel. At first, the readings seem normal, but they quickly turn weird when she says that there is a presence in the house with Jessie, and that the presence wants Jessie out of the house. Kate claims that this spirit or presence is insistent because the house belonged to it and not Jessie. Almost immediately, Jessie's father barges in and turns off the television. Leon asks her where she found the tapes, but Jessie, irritated by his harsh reaction, does not respond. Leon is very furious and repeats his question. This time Jessie replies that she found them in her late mom's room. Leon then destroys the tape. He forcefully lifts Jessie up from her wheelchair and places her on a sofa. He then tells her to stop snooping around. The next day, Jessie's father apologizes to her for his aggressive behavior the previous day and offers her breakfast. He explains that he did not expect to see Jessie's mother the previous night and had no idea Jessie's mother had made the tape. He asks Jessie if the tape he seized was the only tape she found, and Jessie lies, saying that it was just the one. Satisfied, he then heads out to work. After having breakfast, Jessie slides a second tape into the video player. It is a video of her late mother, Kate. Kate tells Jessie that the presence in the house was Jessie's inner demon, and that it was a manifestation that happened due to her blaming herself for an accident. She tells Jessie to forgive herself, as it was not her fault. She goes on to give Jessie a new reading, but it is even more damning as she sees a horrible demise. The video ends. Later in the day, Jessie's nap is interrupted by strange disturbances. She hears eerie footsteps. Jessie is rattled and calls for her father, but there is no reply. Almost immediately, there is a knock on her door, and Rosora, a nurse from the hospital, introduces herself to Jessie. Rosora is charged with Jessie's physiotherapy and begins work in earnest. Soon, Rosora helps Jessie get in the bath and says she will check on her in a few minutes. After she leaves, Jessie closes her eyes to relax. In a matter of minutes, the scene turns eerie. The water in the tub blackens, just as the whole room darkens, and a feminine figure with straight black hair and pale skin emerges from the tub itself. Jessie is still relaxed in the tub when the strange creature attacks her. As they struggle, Jessie calls for help. A lame Jessie manages to crawl to the bathroom door, but the strange woman easily catches up to her and presses her against the wall. Leon and Rosora come rushing in, but that's no one there but Jessie. The darkened shade of the room has disappeared, and the setting is sunny again. A terrified Jessie tries to explain the past agonizing minutes, but her father attempts to calm her down by stating that it was merely a figment of her imagination, and that it was nothing. Nevertheless, Leon is very pissed that Rosora left his lame daughter to fend for herself. He angrily asks Rosora to leave. Things settle down for a bit, but there is an increasing itch at the back of Leon's mind. This itch leads him to Jessie's room, where he hurriedly goes through his daughter's things and finds more tapes in the dressers. He is disappointed that Jessie lied to him, but he explains that it was the tapes that were making Jessie afraid. When Leon decides that he will destroy the tapes, Jessie is understandably angry with his decision. She emotionally argues and points out that the tapes are all she has left of her late mom, and that she wants to watch them. Her father refuses and heads out into the yard to destroy the tapes. Jessie watches through her bedroom window as her dad proceeds to burn the tapes. She is unable to interfere because of her medical condition, but an accident, orchestrated by an unseen force, occurs in the shed when he tries to retrieve a lighter. The door is slammed shut, and Leon is caught in burning flames. He calls out to Jessie for help, but she cannot do a single thing since she is not yet moved by herself. Leon passes away in the flames. At Leon's funeral, Jessie runs into an old friend named Preston. They speak for a while until Jessie catches a glimpse of a severely burned man, after which she passes out. Early the next morning, Jessie wakes up to find Preston seated beside her bed. She thanks him for staying with and watching over her. He accepts her gratitude, but then prepares to leave. Seeing this, Jessie stops him, explaining that she needs someone to talk to. He agrees to spend more time with her and suggests that they go somewhere else as the house gave him the creeps. Jessie agrees, and they leave for a diner. At the diner, they talk and catch up on each other's lives. Jessie tells Preston about her nightmares and hallucinations, and he assures her that it is normal, considering all that she has been through. He advises her to see a shrink, but Jessie says she cannot afford it because she is flat broke. She also mentions the tape to Preston. Back at Jessie's house, Preston retrieves the tapes from the yard, and he and Jessie start to watch the videos. A moment later, Preston turns it off, stating that Jessie should not be seeing the content yet, considering the traumatic experience she has just been through. He advises that she wait until after she has recuperated. He then gives her his phone number and tells her that she can call him at any time should she need anything. Preston then takes his leave, and Jessie is deeply grateful for his kind gesture. That evening, Jessie watches a few more tapes, mostly of her parents, but one particular tape is of her mother looking devastated. In the video, there are tarot cards already opened, and she explains in deep agony to Jessie that Jessie had already passed. The video goes off, and immediately Jessie gets into some sort of trance, which leads her to discover another tape hidden in the wall. The next day, Preston and Jessie explore the bayou on Jessie's plan, looking to investigate strange illuminations that they had seen coming from there earlier. In the process, they discover a gravestone with Jessie's name and birthday on it. Unsure of what to make of this, they decide to dig it up. They find remains of a baby, and promptly hand the same over to the sheriff for investigation. Preston tells Jessie that she can stay at his place, and the following morning, they begin some investigations of their own. They visit Jessie's parents' old cook named Mrs. Davis. She acts strangely at the sight of Jessie, chanting in a strange tongue, and eventually mentions another acquaintance of Jessie's mom named Moses. Preston and Jessie get off to trace Moses, but instead find what looks like a grave and a shrine. Preston is attacked by a group of men, after which they are told to leave. Back at Jessie's place, she and Preston gather her belongings so she can move permanently out of the house. Preston takes a bag to the car, then comes back to pick up Jessie. As he is about to turn on the engine, he notices that Jessie is, in fact, not Jessie at all. The female entity, the same one that attacked Jessie earlier in the movie, attacks Preston and knocks him out. Jessie hears the commotion and wheels herself outside. She finds Preston on the floor unconscious and calls for an ambulance. As Preston is wheeled to the hospital, the sheriff arrives and gives her information on the remains that were found in the bayou. The remains belonged to an infant that was taken out. She gains more understanding and reaches out to the presence in the house. As Jessie tries to communicate with the entity whose presence she was convinced of, the TV turns on by itself, and Jessie instinctively plays the tape she had earlier found in the wall. It shows some very disturbing footage of her late mother performing rituals on Jessie, and further down the line, of her late mother taking her own life. Jessie goes into some sort of trance where she learns that Kate was, in fact, not her mother, and that her late father was responsible for the demise of the body found in the bayou. Leon had broken the child's spine after discovering that the child, named Jezebel, was born as a result of Kate's affair with Moses. Leon further ended Moses' life, and then adopted Jessie to cover his crime. However, Kate wouldn't have it, and after performing some rituals on Jessie had taken her own life. During the trance, Jessie is attacked by the spirits of Kate and Moses and is thrown into a lake. While in the lake, the female entity that attacked her earlier takes her bracelet and surfaces back up as Jessie, right into the loving arms of Preston. The movie ends with Jessie's body being permanently housed by Jezebel, the female entity.